I used to be a mukbanger, and then I quit to start keto, and then I got a horrible keto rash, so I stopped. So I have been posting my old mukbang videos before I lost all my old videos due to merging my personal account to a brand account. I lost everything, and now I'm building it back from scratch.
Loser.
With that said, please like, share, comment, and subscribe so I can move on with my story. Choo choo! Hello, my name is Tom. Welcome to my YouTube show. My ASL teacher is going to kill me. Hello, welcome back to my channel. My name is Tom, and today we're eating Chick-fil-A sandwich with the deluxe and the spicy chicken sandwich. I am just going to combine them into one sandwich, and I'm just gonna enjoy it while I share my story about my dating life with a deaf guy. Without further ado, let's eat. Before we eat, please like and subscribe and hit that notification button so you can see me eat more often. I know that sounds kind of creepy, but do it. Okay. Ooh, yes. So deluxe, they come with the veggies. I'm not sure if I really care for that, but I do like pickles, so I'm gonna put it on there. And I'm trying to cut my carbs because I'm going to eat a lot more carby food. So I'm just going to combine both of them into one ginormous chicken sandwich. I'm so excited. And you know how I love my waffle fries? No, you don't. But this will be a great Instagram photo. Ooh. Oh. Yes. Check this out. I don't even know if I can eat this. I'm gonna take a picture.
2 hours later.
I'm gonna take my first bite. Yes. I don't even know if I can take this first bite. But I'm gonna. Oh. Oh. Mmm. It's just too big, guys. First bite fail. I only bit half of it. Mmm. 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 Oh my god, the cheese does make the chicken sandwich better. Check this out, there's cheese in here. Oh. Before I get into my story today, I'm just gonna set up a disclaimer today. If it sounds offensive to the deaf community, I'm sorry, I did not mean any of it. And definitely, I will make sure I sound as good as possible. And maybe because English is my second language, okay, so ASL might be my third language, and I might just butcher it along the way, so bear with me. I have dated with a deaf guy for about a year. That was in the past. We're still friends, but you know, that was in the past. People were like, every time when I tell my friend that I've dated a deaf guy before, they're like, how is that possible? How did you guys meet? Why did you date a deaf guy? I was like, I found him on Grindr. We texted for a while, and we decided to meet, and he just confronted me that he was deaf, if that was okay. Okay, it's falling apart. One thing about big burgers is they tend to fall apart. I think that's why you need like a toothpick in the middle to put it together so it doesn't fall apart. I get messy. I still remember our first date. That was the most eye-opening day I ever had an experience. I have never thought I would communicate with a deaf person without knowing any sign language. So let's break it down some terms before we get into my dating life with the deaf guy. The deaf community refer people who can hear and able to hear are the hearing people to refer themselves as the deaf people. And there are also hard of hearing people. This is hard of hearing. Okay, and that's usually the terms that they use often to describe a person. It's crucial because in the deaf community, if we're referring someone who's hearing, it's a certain type of people. Like literally, they can hear. So I was okay. And I say yes to meet up the first time. It was at a very beautiful afternoon, and I went to a Starbucks and I saw this beautiful man sitting there waiting for someone. And I thought, okay, maybe that was him. Turns out it was him. Okay, that was kind of stupid. But I sat down. Immediately, I did not know what to do because he can't hear me and I did not know how to sign. But this video might give you some lesson and some tutorial of how do you communicate with deaf people. I'm not trying to make it educational, but 2019, a lot of people do not know how to deal with deaf people, okay? I think that's an issue right now because there are so many ways to communicate with others without using your mouth. Your facial expression helps. You can text, you can draw, you can point, you can use your body language to communicate with someone. And in this DN age, people are relying on speaking the same language to be something that's more important than try to get your message across. We became lazy. That's pretty much what I'm trying to say. So we say hi to each other and we sat down and he's starting to text in the note on his phone and he showed me. And immediately I knew how to communicate with him. Like I read the notes and I reply back on my phone and then I show him my text. That's how we communicate. Like right away, he knew, of course, he was the one who's leading. We knew how to communicate without saying a word. And he became so interesting to me. I thought it was great. So I sat there and chat with him for a long hour. This was the first time I realized messaging and texting is not very rude in front of someone. If that's the only communication you can do with each other, it's valid, it's important, it's crucial, it's beautiful. Okay, maybe if you can talk and then you are doing that, that's just rude. But it opened up my perspective. It opened up my views on technology. Why I say that? If you think FaceTime is kind of annoying, but imagine this is a new inventive technology where deaf people can finally communicate through their phone. Because before FaceTime, you can't really have the deaf people using their own language to communicate because they do ASL. I don't know where I'm going with this. But after the first date, the second date, I decided to learn some sign language. At least I was trying to learn how to spell A to Z. It's the first step of learning a language, I guess, right? I was learning A to Z, but just so you guys know, just because you know how to spell A to Z doesn't mean you have to spell everything in ASL, okay? In sign language world, you do not spell everything. Because if you do, they might think you're just crazy. And then they wouldn't understand what you're saying. I learned very quickly. So after you learn your alphabets, you should learn some casual language. Like, hi, how are you? That type of thing. I know, Mukbang is not a great tool for you to actually do sign language because you need your body and you need your face. Now you just have my face and my food. I know this story might get very boring, so I decided to just jump to why I stopped dating him. There were many reasons. One, it was I suck at learning a language. It was really hard for me to learn to a point that I realized if we can communicate on the same level, I will always have issues. Like for me, myself, I will always have issues not be able to express myself fully to this person. I learned pretty quickly within a year just because my goal was to argue with him with sign language. I know that sounds kind of crazy, but if you can argue with a person with sign language, that means you pretty much mastered the language. I'm not talking about cussing words or anything. I'm talking about just one-on-one try to argue. Another reason why it didn't work out, I had a hard time to really bond my friends with his crowd. I became really tired. That's what I'm trying to say. Like, sometimes I want to hang out with my friends, but I'm sure he was going to be bored. I will have to translate everything, but a lot of times I feel like it's just not important, and he felt neglected because I wouldn't translate everything. So we will have that kind of argument. Just the language itself becomes a barrier. Which, by the way, I feel like it's true love if you overcome that. But I suck at language. Why do you think my English is still have an accent? Okay? So, that's another reason why I felt my relationship with the deaf guy didn't work out. Third one was because we have different paths. We weren't on the same page. Let's just face it. For some reason, even though with all these obstacles I tried to overcome with true love, he didn't want to settle down for a relationship. And I wanted a relationship because I invest so much. I learned the language. That's how it didn't work out. Do I regret it? No, I'm not. I learned so much from him. I became respectful. I respect the community. I understood most deaf people do not associate themselves with disabilities. They are just people who can do everything, but they just cannot hear. There are so many deaf people in different professions. They can do everything that a hearing person can do. I'm starting to respect that. Do not take everything for granted, especially your hearing, because we know there are a lot of sounds that we can cancel and ignore. And that is a privilege that we should appreciate. Just don't take anything for granted. That's a general note. There are definitely a lot more stuff I would love to cover with the deaf community that I involved with while I was dating this deaf guy. But I think that's it. Just giving you some idea of how I view the deaf community and how I feel it is beautiful where they are right now in terms of politics, their rights, in terms of how beautiful they are, who they are. And I'll see you next time. Please like and subscribe and hit that notification button. I know today's video is going to be very choppy because I had a hard time want to convey of what I wanted to say without sounding very offensive to certain communities. Thank you and goodbye.